Back on the bench with the deadbolt, and I want to show you something really cool. This is a set of links that I just finished putting together myself. They are silicon bronze, not brass, and they may look gray, but that's because they have a patinaed finish. I went a little fancy with these. Some of them, the finish did get a little bit messed up when I was installing the rod ends. Some of the rod ends got a little bit mangled. Poor choice of tools, and it was late at night. These things happen. Also, these are the Capra 1.9 HD rod ends from Axial. I wanted to go with the Axial rod ends. These ones are a little bit thicker than the Revo. So these are the Revo style that most aftermarket manufacturers, Amazon type manufacturers end up using. And these Axial ones look better. They're a little bit beefier and they fit a little bit better. These are the Revo balls. I picked up a couple packs of the Revo rod ends because they are a lot cheaper than the stainless Axial ones. They're less than half the price, and you get the whole set of rod ends too, so in case you break one or something you have a spare, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna leave these for now. They're a little bit shorter than the Axial rod ends, so there's a little bit of a gap at the end here. I thought about maybe running a little nut in there or something. I think I'm just gonna wait and pick up some more of these and do it properly. But for now, this will do, because I do want to get this thing back out on the rocks and test it a little bit more. I ran out and did a quick run with these tires on, and they performed very well, but the truck does still feel light. I mean, it's much heavier now with this wheel and tire package, but it's still just, for some reason, I don't know why, feels light. So I'm gonna add a little bit more weight, and the quickest and easiest way to do that was with a set of these links, because that puts it down low. I also think this would be a good opportunity to sort of go over some of the things that I've noticed while wheeling this vehicle around, and sort of go over what I think could use improvement and what I think I want to do next as far as upgrades, modifications, that sort of thing. And that'll also be a good opportunity to clean it up because it's pretty dirty. So let's go ahead and pull it apart. The first thing I want to do is check that my rods match the factory rods and that everything will work and my geometry will remain the same and I won't have any weird crab walking or anything like that. So let's pull this guy apart. We'll check the factory rods against mine, clean everything up, go ahead and get it reinstalled, take it back out on the rocks, see how it performs. These are a high clearance style, so they are bent up a little bit here. That hopefully will give me a little bit of extra ground clearance, particularly in the rear. I find that these factory style rods are getting hung up a lot and stopping the truck almost sometimes. So we'll see. I don't know. It's a little bit extra weight, a little bit of extra style, a little bit of extra strength, and almost no money. So that's cool. Why don't we come in just a little bit closer so that you can kind of see what I'm doing, and we'll pull it apart and get going. All right, let's get our body off. It is a little bit dusty still. Ran out into kind of a dry creek bed just to do a quick test. Take our fancy new Trio wheels off. I am very happy with these. They are a good looking wheel. They're pretty heavy, but they're not super heavy. I'm not happy with the fact that that the hub is integral to the face of the wheel. It's not a separate piece. So you cannot adjust your offset with your hub, the wheel hub. You can't just swap out a longer hub or a shorter hub or whatever. And I did not realize that when I bought them. Probably should have paid a little bit closer attention to that, but that's okay. The second thing that irks me is I found a really, really good set of Trio beadlocks that are true beadlocks, lock on the face, and they have a separate hub. Like 2 days ago, found them. Should have just looked harder. I don't know what I was doing when I ordered these. It's fine, I'm very happy with these. whatever, we'll move on. The tires are great. I can't tell if the foam is a little hard or if the truck is a little light or if it's just oversprung. It's hard to be sure 100%, but hopefully adding a little bit of weight with these links will help all of that. All right, both front wheels off. Front suspension is looking pretty good considering the amount of abuse that I've put it through, to be honest. A couple of things. The other day, oh, look at that. I just noticed how loose that is. Okay, well, so that's an issue. This screw fell out the other day. It's loose again. This one is also loose. I guess they never used any thread lock on those. I'll throw some in when we reassemble this. Okay, so here's the first comparison. So this is the factory Axial RTR style steering link. This one, I don't know, they look cool. They're super light. I'm sure they're very cheap to make. They are bendy, so you do get some deflection in your steering inherently. They come with these plastic, nylon, whatever they are, ball ends in them, and they're tight. I mean, there's a tiny bit of play in there, I guess, but for plastic, that's really good. For an RTR, they do the job. And like I said, this thing is getting basically everything upgraded at some point, so we can ditch that. And we're gonna go ahead and install my set of rods and links. These are gonna be a lot stronger, a lot heavier. In fact, why don't we pull all the links off and we'll weigh them, get a total weight. Here's the factory drag link. So it's made to look like it's jointed, like it's got a hydro setup, but this whole thing moves back and forth. So I don't know, whatever. Let's weigh them, see what the difference is and how much weight we've added to the truck so far. Then we'll take it back out on the rocks and see how it performs. Okay, so last night as I was putting this thing together, I got everything apart and I noticed something kind of disturbing. Despite my best efforts, I built these links at the shop where I work, and I did not bring the truck with me. Forgot to bring the truck with me. And so I pulled some measurements offline and built these as accurately as I could to those measurements. I guess those measurements were wrong, or maybe measured from a different location. I'm not really sure. Either way, they all ended up about 2 millimeters short. So what I did was ran out to the hardware store. Rather than building a new set of links and waiting for all that, I want to get this thing out on the trail and see how it performs. So I just ran out and grabbed some little tiny brass washers, stacked a couple of them on each end, and that brought us out to the correct length. And so now we're good. Now we can get the suspension installed. One thing that I'm really happy about is this right here. These are the factory rear links, and they're meant to look like a trailing arm, sort of high performance off-road style suspension that's used in, you know, a lot of off-road type vehicles, but they come down here and then back up, and that's for added strength and rigidity out here in the middle of this trailing arm. And I get it, but that's not the direction you want to go when you're doing rock crawling. So these move up the opposite direction, and you can tell exactly how much clearance we're going to gain right in front of the rear axle there. So previously, you can see where there's a little bit of rock rash here. These axle, or these trailing arms, 4-link bars, whatever you want to call them, they tend to get hung up and prevent the wheel from getting enough traction on whatever rock or obstacle it is that you're trying to get over. So if I can gain just that little extra bit of clearance, that'll allow the tire to grab the obstacle and hopefully we'll get over it. So I've got the scale here, and let's see how much weight we're gonna add. And a lot of people comment you don't want to add brass or bronze suspension links because you're adding sprung weight, and I'm not sure how accurate that is. And either way, even if it is sprung weight, it's below the chassis. So I don't know if that's a bad thing either. Okay, so let's go ahead and zero the scale out with this little tray on here so that all the links will fit. 0, and all our plastic factory links and ball ends that come supplied with the RTR kit together. I know that's hard for you to see, you probably can't see it at all. 68.7 grams. 68.7 grams for the factory links and ball ends. And let's grab my custom links. 267.4 grams. So we're adding about 200 grams, way down low, below the bottom of the chassis. Hopefully that'll improve performance. We're also gonna gain some ground clearance with the bent design. You know what, while we're here, why don't we compare our factory wheel and tire setup to the Trio beadlocks in the Swampers. All 4 wheels and tires come in at 397.2 grams. And that's the factory Nitto Trail Grapplers on the Method wheels. And let's see, oh God, are these even gonna fit on here? The Trio beadlocks with the Super Swampers, 784.2 grams. Significant gains. This truck already weighs a lot more than it did, and hopefully that's going to improve our performance greatly. So why don't we go ahead and get everything reassembled and take this thing back out to the rocks and see how it performs. Alright, there's the rear suspension back together. Thank God, that looks good. It looks so good. So I clearanced these front bars because I was worried that under full articulation on one side, even the factory bars were basically touching in this configuration. So I had to make sure to make a high clearance upper and lower bar. And now, unfortunately, the most exposed part is the U-joint, the drive shaft there, and the front of the axle. However, get a lot of clearance here, and I will at some point build a little skid under here to help protect this because that is kind of exposed now. But man, it looks good. It flexes great, works great, adds a little color and definitely some weight to this cool. So let's go ahead and get the front together. So one thing that I really don't understand about this setup is why Axial decided that in the rear they would include a little tab here to run your bolt through for the upper arm, and in the front they would not. I mean, it doesn't seem like it would interfere with the drive line if it doesn't back there, and there's nothing else up here it would interfere with. I'm kind of confused. They make you run this stupid little nut, and so now it's only supported on one end. Not great. Maybe when I make a skid plate, I may make a skid plate, I may just buy a skid plate. That's something that they could definitely improve, I think. Go ahead and reinstall that servo arm with just a little bit of Loctite because it was very loose, and I'll go ahead and use some Loctite on the other end of it just to keep things from falling out of place. Okay, suspension back on, wheels and tires back on. The problem I was having, well, first of all, I had my lower arms on upside down, so I went ahead and flipped those. But the main problem was this upper link. I designed it the same way as the rear links to have a sort of counteracting bend to the lower link so that they would not interfere with each other. However, there wasn't enough room for that, and it was hitting this cross member in here. So what I did, I just flipped the link around, and it's okay for now. It does still contact the cross member, and we do lose, at least on this side, a little bit of suspension travel. None on the other side, but a little bit of lost articulation on that side. So I will have to, redesign this upper link with a little bit less bend in it, I think. Or maybe no bend, I'm not sure. I think with no bend it would come in contact with that lower link, so I'm not sure. I'll have to redesign that, but I want to get out on the trail. Suspension's back on, wheels and tires on. Old plastic links in the parts bucket of shame. Let's get a battery in this thing and hit the trail. Four-wheel drive on this guy. Okay, back at the local spot, and we're kind of running out of sunlight here. Not sure if you can tell, starting to sink down below the trees, but I wanted to get here and check out the Deadbolt, see how she does on the rocks with her new links, new wheels, new tires. You can see the links are almost flat. The front ones, you can see, have a little too much bend in them, I think, but the rears are perfect. And this whole package has added a significant amount of weight to this thing. So I think it's gonna handle a lot better on these rocks. Why don't we hit a couple of lines?
Okay, that's our quick test crawl with the new bronze links installed on the Deadbolt. This thing handles absolutely wonderful. I love it. Big improvement with new bronze links. The high clearance bend on the lowers really helps out. Really helps get over those ledges and little boulders and things. The only thing that contacts the rocks now is the tires. That's great. You're not running into your links, you're not coming down on them off of rocks, you're not scraping on them trying to get over rocks. It's really nice. It's added a ton of weight down low. It handles really well. It's performing great. I still think it could use a little bit more weight down low. I also think it could probably use a little bit more power and maybe a better servo. But hey, who knows? We'll get there at some point. But for now, I'm really happy with how this truck is performing, and we'll see how it goes from here. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
I die to spend the summer with you.